with David Johnson, Edie Tarbox, Dennis Bowman with the weather outside, and John Fedko with sports. Now, Channel 11 News Night Beat.
Good evening, everyone. I'm David Johnson. Our top story tonight on the Night Beat, treacherous Thanksgiving travel. You can count your blessings if you don't have to drive Interstate 79 tonight. What snow we got this afternoon in and around Pittsburgh managed to melt and then refreeze into ice, but only in certain areas. Especially slick, the stretch between Zelienople and Sewickley. State police say at least 30 cars suddenly found themselves sliding off the road and down into the median. And four-wheel drive didn't seem to matter. This vehicle smacked the guardrail before coming to a stop. Salt trucks got a late start with just an isolated section. No reports of any serious injuries to drivers, just a lot of folks shaken up by the slick stuff. Now we're going to take a live-eye look at that area tonight in Wexford. That's how it looks right now. Cars seem to be moving along. It appears to be wet. There is, in that dark section off to the right, a car in the median. The driver was not hurt. We just spoke to state police, and they say that area is still a problem and restricted to one lane in some spots, so they suggest, the police do, you avoid using I-79 north of Wexford if at all possible. New York City residents woke up to quite an unusual sight this holiday. 5 inches of snow fell. The first time in 51 years the city has had a white Thanksgiving. It frosted the huge balloon in the annual Macy's Day Parade, but the harsh weather didn't keep any indoors. Thousands lined the streets to watch the parade and then play in Central Park. And in the nation's capital, 4 to 6 inches of the white stuff blanketed the area with temperatures in the 30s. Thousands of people were standing in that chilly D.C. weather, some by choice, others because they have nowhere else to go. Thousands of homeless people formed a long line in front of the Capitol to get a free Thanksgiving meal, served by volunteers there who say their movement is intended to send a message. In Houston, 2,000 volunteers served 14,000 people at the annual Houston Superfest. Meantime, on Pittsburgh's north side, the Light of Life rescue mission was helping feed our areas hungry. 2,000 pounds of turkey was cooked up, then gobbled down by people who walked in off the streets, while more meals were delivered to shut-ins. Perhaps one of the most touching scenes and Thanksgiving stories in our area was the East Liberty Church at the Holy Trinity Baptist Church. Thieves broke in there yesterday, stealing $7,000 worth of food that was to be given to the needy today. But when Pittsburghers learned of the robbery, they moved into action, bringing over food and money, so much, in fact, that the church may be able to continue their goodwill offerings to the needy all the way through the Christmas holiday. In other news tonight, astronauts in the Space Shuttle Discovery are resting up after a busy Thanksgiving day in space. They reportedly put a spy satellite into orbit, but NASA won't confirm that, but did say it's breaking its official silence by announcing Discovery will land Sunday at 10:02 a.m. at Edwards Air Force Base in California. And the astronauts had a Thanksgiving Day dinner in space. They ate the traditional meal of thermo-stabilized turkey with all the trimmings, space food. Analysts say it looks like a good year for Christmas shoppers because many retail chains are in trouble, facing a cash crunch from tough competition. Tomorrow begins the big season with the biggest shopping day of the year. That's tomorrow. Many folks got a jump on the Christmas rush, though, by shopping at Ames department stores today. In a rare move, Ames was open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. today. It's believed to be the only major chain in our area to open its doors on Thanksgiving Day. A tragic morning fire in McKeesport. One brother is dead. The other barely escaped alive. 25-year-old James Scott lived here on Sylvester Way. His couch caught fire around 5 this morning. His brother was able to jump to safety, but James was trapped and died in his home near Renzi Park there in McKeesport. A Pitcairn man is lucky to be alive tonight. A grenade detonator exploded in his hand last night. In all, 43 detonators were found in Pitcairn last night. And as Lauren Mann reports tonight, authorities have no idea where they came from.
So you have to pull this off and then pull the pin. Then when that would come out, it would detonate.
This small box and its contents are causing a lot of concern in Pitcairn tonight. These are live detonators for hand grenades. Steve Sapp found them last night while searching for discarded metal along the banks of Sulphur Creek. It was a close call for Sapp. One of the detonators exploded after he removed the pin and forced it open with pliers.
When it blew up, I had a cigarette in my mouth. It blew the cigarette out of my mouth, the pressure did, and I had a lot of powder burns on this coat here, and my ears rang for the next 2 hours. It scared the hell out of me.
Police find it all hard to believe, but they're not taking any chances. Chief David McIntyre says his department has checked for other explosives in the area.
We had the fire departments come out, and we searched the woods to make sure that there were no more. For about 2 hours last night, and then again this morning for about 2 hours. And we made as good of an attempt as we could with the weather to make sure that there's no more out there. We're not 100% sure.
Bomb experts say the detonators are very dangerous because they will explode once the pin and safety clamps are removed. They've been turned over to the county bomb squad. Authorities are investigating to determine where the detonators may have come from. In the meantime, they're asking residents that if you have any information on them, to please give authorities a call at 823-1200. Lauren Mann, Channel 11 News, Pitcairn.
Meantime, overseas, protests in Prague's Wenceslas Square keep getting bigger and bigger. Today, the biggest gathering ever there, 500,000 people protesting the communist government and demanding democratic reforms. Czechoslovakia's army, though, says it will defend socialism from anarchy, this after 7 straight days of pro-democracy demonstrations. 4 other headline items making news tonight. Here's our World in a Minute. British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher arrived this evening at Andrews Air Force Base for a meeting tomorrow with President Bush. She's expected to seek the president's backing for her view that support must continue for NATO despite reforms in Eastern Europe. Authorities say a flash fire caused an oil rig in the Gulf of Mexico to explode today. The Coast Guard says there are no known fatalities, but at least 12 people are hurt. The injured were airlifted to a hospital in Galveston. While most Americans are enjoying home and hearth this Thanksgiving Day, former TV preacher Jim Baker is in jail. Wife Tammy and son Jamie and Jim's sister Donna all came to visit, but they won't be sitting down to dinner. They'll be spending Thanksgiving, minus the turkey and trimmings, in the general holding area where food is prohibited. 7 people were arrested in New York this morning after disrupting the Macy's Thanksgiving parade. They were demonstrating against U.S. intervention in El Salvador. They pushed aside barricades and joined the parade with a huge bomb-shaped balloon. And Zsa Zsa Gabor went on a shopping spree but says it was a good cause, all part of her sentence for slapping a cop. She's doing community service, buying a few things for a woman's shelter. And that's the World in a Minute. Well, on this day of giving thanks, we can be thankful the weather wasn't worse than it was, but it was pretty wintry out there tonight as well. Dennis Bowman is upstairs with the latest on the forecast. Dennis?
Yeah, and if you're looking for a warm-up, feast your eyes on Saturday. That's going to be the best of the next several, my friends, and I'll have that forecast for you in just a moment.
Michael's trying to call today.